The date is August 24th, 2026. Monday Night Raw is live from Philadelphia, city known for its volatility. Yet tonight, the Wells Fargo Center feels strangely sedated. In the center of the ring stands the current women's world champion, Tiffany Stratton. She is flanked by security and production assistants, holding a microphone with the casual arrogance of someone who hasn't felt a real threat in 6 months. The division has become polished, pretty, and entirely safe. Stratton is mid-promo, bragging about her 200-day reign, listing off the opponents she has outclassed and outshined. The crowd reaction is a mix of polite boos and genuine apathy. They aren't angry, they're bored. The product has become too clean, too corporate. The era of chaos seems to have died quietly last winter, when the big names either left for Hollywood or fell to injury. Stratton pauses for effect, expecting a specific chant, but the silence lingers a second too long. It's an awkward heavy air. Michael Cole and Corey Graves are on commentary, filling the dead air with stats about Stratton's dominance, trying to sell the idea that we are witnessing a golden era. But the energy in the building betrays them. It feels like a balloon slowly leaking air. Stratton smiles, raising the belt, her reflection gleaming in the perfectly lit arena. "There is no one left," she declares, her voice echoing with a tinny sharpness. "I've scrubbed this division clean." Then, the anomaly happens. It isn't a blackout. It isn't a pyrotechnic explosion. It is a glitch. The massive LED boards wrapping the arena flicker a jagged tear of static that cuts through Stratton's oversized graphics. The audio feed makes a sickening pop like a cable being ripped out of an amp, followed by a low, vibrating hum that shakes the floorboards. Stratton looks at the Titantron, annoyed rather than afraid, assuming it's a production error. He taps the microphone, demanding the audio be fixed. The crowd murmurs, shifting in their seats, sensing that this mistake feels too abrasive to be scripted. The hum grows louder, a frequency that hurts the teeth. It's not music. It's the sound of a structural failure. The house lights don't go dark. They turn a sickly, sterile white, exposing every empty seat and confused face. The comfort of the show is gone. The hum cuts out instantly, plunging the arena into a silence so profound you can hear the squeak of the ropes as Stratton steps back. No music plays. No, this is my brutality scream. No pyrotechnics. It's just the sound of heavy boots on the steel ramp. Thud, thud, thud. The camera cuts to the stage, but it doesn't zoom in. It stays wide, paralyzed. Emerging from the shadows of the entrance tunnel is a silhouette that looks familiar yet terrifyingly foreign. It is Rhea Ripley, but she has been stripped of the mommy persona that sold millions of t-shirts. There is no purple lipstick, no playful smirk, no blowing kisses to the camera. She is wearing matte black combat gear that looks less like a wrestling costume and more like riot armor. Her hair is longer, unkempt, hanging over her eyes. She walks with a terrifying lack of urgency. This isn't a wrestler making an entrance. It is a predator entering a pen. The crowd in Philadelphia, usually quick to pop or chant, is frozen. They don't know if they should cheer. The energy isn't excitement. It's unease. A few scattered cheers break out, desperate for the nostalgia of the Judgment Day era, but they die out quickly when Rhea doesn't acknowledge them. She doesn't look at the fans. She doesn't look at the hard cam. She stares straight ahead, her eyes locked on the ring with a dead, shark-like focus. Corey Graves whispers into his headset, his voice breaking the immersion, is that she looks different. She looks dangerous. It's the first honest thing said all night. As Rhea passes the barricade, the fans in the front row don't reach out to touch her. They instinctively lean back. She radiates a cold, pressurized anger that feels tangible. The air around her seems to drop in temperature. She walks up the steel steps, ignoring the traditional pose on the apron. She simply steps over the top rope, not with athletic flair, but with the heavy, inevitable motion of a storm surge breaching a wall. She stands in the corner, motionless. The referee, sensing the volatility, signals for security to back away, leaving Tiffany Stratton alone in the ring with a ghost she thought was gone forever. Stratton tries to regain control. She laughs, a nervous, high-pitched sound that cracks over the PA system. "Oh, look who decided to show up," she sneers, trying to pivot back to her rehearsed lines. The relic returns. Rhea says nothing. She doesn't ask for a microphone. She simply tilts her head, cracking her neck with a sound that the ring mics pick up clearly. The bell hasn't rung. There is no match scheduled. This is an invasion. Stratton steps forward, trying to slap Rhea, a move that usually garners heat. But before her hand can connect, Rhea catches her wrist. The speed is frightening. It's not a wrestling counter. It's a martial interception. Rhea doesn't release the wrist. She squeezes. The camera zooms in on Stratton's face as the arrogance drains away, replaced by genuine pain and sudden panic. You can see Stratton mouthing, "Let go," but Rhea's expression remains blank. Then the violence starts. It isn't a wrestling sequence with bumps and selling. Rhea headbutts her. Sharp, brutal crack of bone on bone. Stratton crumples instantly, clutching her nose, blood pouring through her fingers. The crowd gasps, a collective intake of breath that sucks the oxygen out of the room. This isn't the PGIRA wrestling they are used to. This feels like assault. Rhea doesn't wait for Stratton to stand up. She grabs the champion by her hair, deadlifting her with zero effort, and throws her into the turnbuckle. The impact sounds like a car crash. The referee tries to intervene, putting a hand on Rhea's shoulder. Rhea turns, looks at the official, and simply shoves him. He flies across the ring, sliding out to the floor. There is no disqualification because there is no match. Rhea drags the limp body of the champion to the center of the ring. She doesn't go for the riptide. She doesn't go for the submission. She lifts Stratton up for a powerbomb, holds her there, letting the blood rush to Stratton's head, and then drives her down. It's reckless. It's hateful. The ring canvas shakes. Rhea stands over the fallen champion, breathing heavily, not in exhaustion but in purged rage. She looks down at the title belt lying on the mat, steps on it, and grinds her heel into the gold. The aftermath is uncomfortable. Usually when a returning star attacks a heel, the music hits, the crowd cheers, and the announcer screams about the shakeup. Tonight, there is no music. The production team is too stunned to hit the cue. The only sound is the murmur of the crowd and the frantic calls for medical personnel. 2 EMTs rush down the ramp, sliding into the ring to check on Stratton, who hasn't moved. Rhea watches them. She doesn't attack the medics. She treats them like insects, walking around them to exit the ring. Michael Cole is silent for a full 10 seconds. When he finally speaks, his voice is stripped of his usual announcer cadence. I don't know what we just saw, he mutters. That wasn't a return. That was a statement. Graves adds, she didn't come back to win the title, Cole. She came back to destroy the company. The camera follows Rhea as she walks backwards up the ramp. Her eyes scan the crowd, and for the first time, we see emotion. It isn't joy. It's disgust. She looks at the fans filming her on their phones, the signs asking for photos, the merchandise stands in the distance. She hates it all. The feed cuts to the reactions in the front row. Children are crying. Men look stunned. The holy *T chant tries to start, but falters because the vibe is too heavy. This wasn't cool. It was scary. Rhea reaches the top of the stage. She pauses, looking back at the carnage in the ring, the medics tending to the broken champion, the referee holding his ribs, the belt face down in the dirt. She turns to the camera, the lens zooming in until her eyes fill the frame. They are bloodshot, wide, and frantic. She whispers a single sentence, barely audible over the ambient noise. I'm not here to save you. The screen cuts to black. No logo, no copyright text. Just sudden, jarring darkness. Backstage, the atmosphere is chaotic. Camera, usually steady and cinematic in modern WWE, is handheld and shaky, following Triple H as he barks orders at producers. Cut the feed. Get the medical team. You see wrestlers peeking out of locker rooms, faces pale. This isn't a scripted backstage segment. It feels like unauthorized footage of a disaster. We see Liv Morgan and other top stars huddled near a monitor, hands over their mouths. They aren't acting. The fear in their eyes reflects the reality of the business. The hierarchy has just been violently reset. The script ends not with a resolution, but with a lingering question. Why? Why did she return like this? The broadcast doesn't go back to the arena, stays in the chaos of the backstage area until the feed abruptly terminates. The viewer is left sitting in silence. This wasn't a viral moment designed for TikTok. It was a deconstruction of the genre. Rhea Ripley didn't just return to WWE, she returned to remind the world that wrestling at its core is about conflict, pain, and dominance. The final shot of the video fades, in a black and white still image of Rhea standing over the fallen champion. The spotlight hitting her back, casting a long, distorted shadow over the ring. The narrator's voice returns for one final, haunting observation. In 2026, the world wanted a hero. They wanted mommy. But heroes are bound by rules. Heroes care about the applause. Rhea Ripley realized that to truly take over, she had to stop being a character and start being a consequence. The WWE didn't get their star back. They got their reckoning. The screen fades to black, leaving the viewer with the uncomfortable realization that the SH